Well, I'm sitting here in the dark and I can't figure out how to get some light so y'all can see my face. Just praise Yah for all his kindnesses and tender mercies. Now, I know this ain't the best situation, because usually people like to see people's face. So, how's that? That's a little bit better. Y'all can see my face a little bit. So I'm gonna see if I can use my tablet light. My mind has been rolling, thinking about a lot of things lately. We're living in some very tumultuous times, and it's only going to get worse. Thinking about all the different awakenings happening. But I know it's only one true awakening. The awakening of the chosen of the Most High Yah. Awakening of the Most Chosen of the Most High Yah. How's that? That's a little bit better, huh? You know, being raised in the commandments, taught the Bible, and at a very young age, being called by the Most High. You some things you see, and I can't understand this right here. Some things you see, and you really don't know how to bring it into words. So you internalize things. I do. Because I know if I try to articulate those things, it's not going to come out right. People's not going to understand. So, internalize things, and you turn to prayer. Now, the thing about prayer is understanding what the scriptures say about prayer. And our delight is supposed to be in the Most High Yah, our delight, doing those things that He has commanded us in His laws, statutes, and judgments. So He said, if I regard iniquity in my heart, Yah will not hear me. I'm not going to be bringing up a whole lot of different scriptures. I'm just talking. It's been on my mind to do something like this. So, as the scriptures come to me, I will state them. And you guys can take the time out to look them up. So, he said, if I regard iniquity in my heart, Yah will not hear me. Now, if you look up the word regard, it's something or someone you hold in a very special place or in the place of honor or distinction, a favorable distinction. So holding iniquity in that regard, in that distinction, you're walking in a bad way. So Satan, in his great deceptive power that was given to him by the Most High, goes about deceives the whole world. Satan has deceived the whole world. Satan has deceived the whole world. Now, the thing's been going through my mind. To me, it's new, but for a lot of people, it's not new. That's this thing called Bantu Awakening or the Bantu Truth. So somebody like me raised in the commandments and walking in the laws or striving to walk in the laws of the Most High and being taught the scriptures from a child, things automatically question in my mind about the camps, the ABC camps, the different Hebrew groups from one end of the spectrum to the other. You got Hebrew groups that believe and know that they are true descendants of the people of the book, the original Israelites, the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, as it is written in the Bible, but don't believe they have to keep the commandments. Now, the problem is with that is if you realize you are Hebrew or you're Israelite, descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, that the problem is with that is not keeping the commandments is what got us here in the first place. Not obeying the law, statutes, and commandments is what got us here in the first place. In the land of our captivity. In this land that is 100% abominable and has become a modern day Sodom and Gomorrah, and it is getting worse. It's getting worse. The world is getting worse. So the problem with that doctrine is it doesn't hold water. Why would you proclaim to be Israelite when he gave the law, statutes, and commandments to Israel when they came out of Egypt? Now, they have always existed in the beginning. So he reestablished the law to them through Moses. He reestablished them. Because being in captivity, you are removed from your true heritage and you get sucked in by your environment of heathenism. And that's what has happened to us in these United States and ultimately in the world. We get sucked into heathenism, heathenistic practices on one end to the other. And it's overwhelmingly how much heathenistic ways we have taken on. And so that's that pertaining to that doctrine. Then you have the ABC camps. They teach to a certain degree the law, statutes, and commandments, but they do have their own belief system. And it's filtering down to many other groups, peoples, even into some of the people in the Bantu Awakening, which I have researched, and there's a lot of truth to it. I'll get to that in a minute. So this whole idea of Esau being a white man, well, the problem with that is Esau or Edom, which are the same, Edomites, they're all the same. The problem is he is or was our enemy, but he is our brother. Now, down through the ages, when it came down to the Greek Empire, when Greece ruled our land, and we was in captivity to the Greeks, Esau mingled with the Greeks. You can read that. You can see that in the book of Maccabees. So you read about in the book of Maccabees how they took over the priesthood. That's where you get the Pharisees from. That's where the Pharisees come from. Was the mingling of the Esau and the Greeks. Now, this is the problem. If the conquering nation comes in, and when a man takes a woman and that man produces a child through that woman, the child takes on the identity of the man. So more than likely, because Greek was the conquering nation. Now, I'm not saying that it didn't happen with the males of Esau, but it was more of the males of the Grecians. Just logic, just simple logic. The males of the Grecians in domination mingling with our ancestors and Esau's ancestors, the women. So you don't maintain your true identity no more. If you are, your father is a Greek or whatever, naturally. But there's spiritual things involved. Anyway, they got that whole deceptive thing going. And it plays into a lot of spiritual deception. And one of the biggest deceptions I saw, if you are a true Israelite and of the truth, they're not going to advertise you on TV in any shape, form, or fashion. I saw a movie. Don't ask me the name because I don't know. But I saw a movie. In the opening scene in the movie, they have an Israelite camp in front of this thing, and they're talking, doing what they normally do. Got the little charts and everything out there. And I was like, yeah, see there, right there. I knew from the jump that they are a setup. They are agents. These different ABC camps are definitely 100% agents from the government. So bringing that into scripture where it says the wheat and the tares. Where the Yehoshua gives a parable that a sower goes out, sows seeds in his field. And then as the seeds start to germinate and come up, tares also come up with it. Now, what is tares? Tares is like a weed that as it's growing, it looks just like wheat. And so as he's telling the parable, the people that work for the sower, the farmer, should we go out and pull up the tares? The farmer says, no. If you do, you're going to pull up the wheat along with it. So understanding that there's people that the Most High has to allow to his people in certain positions, situations, circumstances, whatever it may be. They may be even in those groups that he has to wait to bring them out first before he fully exposes them and judges them. So he says, let them grow together, and at harvest time, the reapers, which are the angels, the Malachi, will gather the tares into bundles, and they will be burned. So people in this world that look like Israelites, or according to Bantus, they may look like us, they may somewhat talk like us, but when it gets down to the nitty-gritty, they are not of us. So it's easy to see the deception of first day doctrine. Christianity is completely against the word of Yah. Christianity is completely against the word of Yah. So now you have my biggest concern ever is with this Bantu awakening. What's the difference? What's the difference between the things that I seek in the word of the Most High, how I seek the Most High, how I desire to keep his laws, statutes, and commandments? What's the difference? Now, the linguistics, to a certain degree, could be important, but the spirituality, I know there's so many things we've been deceived by. So, in the confines of my mind, thinking about these things, the Most High brings up to my mind, if you continue in my word, then are you my disciples indeed. Ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. If you continue in my word, that's the most important part of you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. You ain't going to know the truth outside of his word, for his word is truth. The law of the Most High is spiritual. It reveals things to you. So in the writings of, I believe, John, it says, try the spirits, for many false prophets are gone out to the world. Try the spirits, whether it be of Yah or not. I'm paraphrasing. But if you look up try the spirits, you'll find it. So we try the spirits. How do you try the spirits? You can't try the spirits by the spirit, because the spirit is a deception. There's only one true spirit, but there's many spirits. So you can't try the spirit by the spirit. There's no way for you to, there's no measuring stick. The law of the Most High is the only measuring stick. Some people will say the rubric, the guide, the director, to show you what is true and what is false. So the law of the Most High is the rubric. It is the guide, director, the spirit of truth. The law is the spirit of truth. And when we seek to keep his law, he said we will be found of him. So there's so many deceptions going on in the world. I don't want to lead people astray. But I want to help people in understanding the truth, the most important things. And the most important thing is obeying his law, teaching people how to obey the law. One thing you're not going to get away from, if you want to make it in the kingdom of the Most High, if you want to be able to escape destruction, you have to be willing to suffer. You have to be willing to suffer. We can't escape that. If the Messiah said, if you suffer with me, you shall reign with me. The Messiah said that. He said, many are the afflictions of the righteous, but Yah delivers them out of them all. Look at Job. Just a real quick note. Job was an Edomite. Job was a descendant of Esau. If you look in the Septuagint, which is the oldest version of Scripture, you will, the last chapter of Job, or Job, the last chapter, it plainly states it. He was a descendant of Esau, but he was a righteous man. And the Most High proclaimed him to be perfect. And he is the only one that can proclaim us perfect. We cannot proclaim ourselves to be perfect. So we must be diligent in these last days, seeking truth, denying worldly lust, and as a man, denying youthful lust. Satan is raging in so many ways. Just rampant. Look at the signs of the times that the Messiah said that would be happening. That there will be false teachers, false prophets, and so much that performing miracles, doing miraculous things in so much of abundance. He said that if it were possible, they would deceive the very elect, the very chosen. That's the biggest thing in my mind, thinking about this Bantu truth. Because different names, the linguistic differences, so many times that the Bible says in the law, Yah said, out of the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, let every word be established. And he has established in my sight more times than I can count the name of Yehoshua. And this elder, Pastor Mello, seems to be a good fella. I don't know much about him, but a lot of the people in the Bantu truth hold him in high regard. So I have no reason to doubt him or anything like that. He said it's okay to use the name Yehoshua. He used the word Yehoshua. Not Yahuwah, not Yahweh, or whatever the different names they use for the Messiah. He used the word Yehoshua, which means Yah is salvation. Yah is salvation. And that's what we seek after. And the layers of salvation is insurmountable. We got to be diligent. We got to be sober-minded. We got to be sober-minded. We got to pray constantly. We have to be willing to deny ourselves. Be willing to deny ourselves creature comforts of life. And yes, I am in my truck. Thank Yah for my truck. Thank Yah that I have a roof over my head. And a means of income. I thank Yah. If y'all don't remember nothing else, remember this. All things work together for good to them that love Yah and to them who are called according to his purpose. Romans 8:28. Now, the secret is, do you love Yah? And the measuring stick for that is, if you love me, he said, keep my commandments. He also said, if you love me, keep my commandments, and I would pray the Father that he will give you another comforter that shall abide with you and in you forever. So all things don't work together for good for everybody. Only those that love Yah and keep his commandments. That's the proof of our love. A few thoughts in my mind that I had to get off my chest. I thank Yah for his kindness and tender mercies in this Sabbath of rest. To Yah be the glory. Peace unto you.